say and spell your first and last name?
Go for it.
Hang on. Just came loose. It's Denny Cherry, Denny Cherry.
And what do you do, Denny?
So I am the principal consultant for Denny Cherry and Associates Consulting. So basically handle whatever clients throw at me. Usually it's a lot of performance tuning, architecture projects. You know, we've got application X coming in, so we need to build some new system so that we can, you know, hold this up, you know, host this application, get it up and running, get it into production. And that, or then it's a lot of, well, we didn't have you do the architecture and things didn't go right with the last guy. So now we've got this application in-house and it's not performing the way it should be. So we need to figure out why it's not working right. You know, we're getting these waits, we're getting blocking problems, you know, timeout error messages, stuff like that. And so we know we need to get in there and really figure out what the problem is and what the little nuances are that really are causing these problems. Because a lot of times when they go to the vendor to get that sort of information, the vendor just gives awful information. So you know they'll bring in me or somebody like me to really go, okay, well, what is the actual problem that we're having, and how do we actually get this problem solved relatively quickly and easily, and get the application back up and running where it needs to be, you know, so the users can keep using it.
And what did you talk about today?
So today at SQL Saturday, should I mention the SQL Saturday number?
SQL Saturday, Silicon Valley.
Okay. So I was speaking today at SQL Saturday Silicon Valley to.
Today I talked about.
Yeah. Trying to remember what I talked about. Partitioning.
What do you mean to say today?
Okay.
You say at SQL.
Okay. At SQL Saturday Silicon Valley, I was talking about table partitioning and really how to implement it, why you'd want to implement it. It's a technology that a lot of people aren't familiar with because it is an enterprise-only feature. So they really don't get exposed to it until they actually land at that big shop that really needs it. And even once they get into those larger shops, they may not necessarily really know when to apply it and when isn't a good time to apply it and what some of the best practices are around implementing it. So they can, you know, and it's one of those things that it's used for really large data sets. So doing it wrong is really expensive because fixing it is even more expensive. Because you're usually talking about moving hundreds of billions of rows, maybe trillions of rows. And it just takes forever to move that amount of information. So having a good foundation to start on when you're doing your research is really important. So that's kind of what I covered in the session today, and kind of did some quick demos on how to actually do it, how to move data, so how to truncate data quickly in a partition table and stuff like that.
And if somebody's trying to learn about table partitioning, what should they do?
There's a lot of really good information on Google that you can use to learn about table partitioning. One of the nice things about partitioning is because so many few people are using it, there's not a lot of bad information out there. I mean, there's some, obviously, but there's not that much of it out there. It's not like some of the other technologies with this parts of SQL Server where you'll find lots and lots of incorrect information out there. So, you know, the internet's a great place to start. There's a lot of videos available from PASS and from vconference.com and various other websites that are going to give you a lot of really good information. And of course, you can hit a lot of SQL Saturdays up where you'll find somebody talking about table partitioning in some way, so you can get some good information from them as well.
And can you describe a company that's used table partitioning and how it helped them?
Most large data warehouses have table partitioning in them. So pretty much any large company has been using it. I've worked for a lot of companies over the years, and you know, the data warehouse is where you're going to see it. So that's, you know, anybody's got a big reporting environment that's got multiple years worth of data. Maybe you've got 10, 15, 20, 30 years worth of data in your data warehouse. You know, you're going to want to look at table partitioning because it can really reduce the amount of I/O that's used by the SQL Server as you're running all these reports, because you only need to pull a very small subset of your data off the disk when you're actually running these immense reports.
And how does that ultimately solve the problem?
So the way this really solves the problem of long-running reports and thrashing on disks is because we reduce the I/O, the reports just run faster. And ultimately, that's what business people want, is when they go click a button on a report on a dashboard, they want that dashboard to pop up really fast. And the faster we can get the data off the disk into memory, the faster we can get that report to pop, the happier everybody's going to be.